Hello beautiful people, Carl here from Brrraaains Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short. Horror movie review time. We're still focusing on Subspecies, but we're taking a bit of a detour. Because From Full Moon, written and directed by Ted Nicolau, Vampire Journals is a spin-off of the Subspecies films. One set in the same universe, but not featuring any of the Subspecies characters, like Radu and Michelle. This film was released between Bloodlust Subspecies 3 and Subspecies 4 Bloodstorm, and focuses on the vampire master Ash, played by Jonathan Morris, and the vampire slayer Zachary Day, played by David Gunn, who also happens to be a vampire. Yes, it's one of those stories. Now, those who, like me, didn't know this film existed initially may have gone ahead and watched Subspecies 4 Bloodstorm. And if you did that, you'll recognise Ash as he plays a role in that film. This is because he's part of Radu's bloodline, having been sired by him. However, the cowed and subservient character from that film is a million miles away from the brooding and powerful vampire that we see here in Vampire Journals.
I've initiated you into the mysteries.
Frightened, Master.
You are no match for me. Soon enough, you will beg me for deliverance.
How does he fall? Like all these bloody vampires do, he falls in love with a woman who doesn't particularly want to become a vampire, unsurprisingly. His obsession with Sophia, played by Kristen Xari, means he fails to notice schemers all around him, fails to notice his power waning, and fails to deal with the dangerous Zachary. It is the latter who will be his actual undoing, wanting to wipe out Ash's bloodline, as his fledgling, Serena, played by Valeria Grappini, is responsible for turning Zachary and costing him the love of his life. Yes, he is a bit emo, it's quite a lot emo actually, but his character is threaded into several other stories nicely and the acting is solid.
Vampires are the spawn of many bloodlines. Some are monstrous creatures forced to hide their faces from society. Others are beings of age-old grace, walking freely through the world of mortals. A fate of endless nighttime, an endless hunger for innocent blood.
Unlike most other vampires, Zachary rejects his vampiric gift and is ashamed of his thirst for blood. It is this that drives him not just to try to kill Ash and all that surround him, but to save Sophia, who ends up in the grasp of the vampire master by simply being the dumbest character in this film and the Subspecies series overall. Seriously, she has no sense of danger about her, which does make it really hard to root for her, even if again the acting is solid. It's just hard to kind of cheer someone who is this stupid. But the acting's good, so it kind of balances out to some degree, but that also applies to most of the cast, who are all very watchable. They're all a bit Anne Rice-like, especially with the vampire look, but it's done well, so who's complaining? Which also applies to the film's look and sound. The main Subspecies films always looked nice, but this one is on a bit of a different level. A word like opulent comes to mind, just with a little bit more sleaze about it.
She has the gift.
This translates into a surprising amount of atmosphere, enhancing the gothic horror and making everything just a little bit more, I don't know what the word is, velvety. Seriously, this film looks sexy, or at least as sexy as these vampires can, as Ted Nicolau still wants you to know that this is a horror film and franchise overall. There's a lot of blood and a lot of decapitations, but alongside that there are more interesting effects, such as the one that shows us what happens to these vampires when they slumber, when they go to sleep, so to speak. This is a really interesting piece of lore that enhances the entire Subspecies franchise overall, and it's a shame it wasn't utilised elsewhere. But that kind of sums up this spin-off completely. An enjoyable complementary effort that proudly stands as one of the most lavish films in the franchise overall. Importantly though, it works as a standalone film too. You could watch this and not know anything about the Subspecies plot line, the overarching franchise, and just see it as a vampire movie. even though its slower pacing probably isn't going to be everyone's taste. I enjoyed this way more than I thought I would, considering it was a spin-off of the main Subspecies storyline and wasn't going to have my favourites Radu and Michelle in it. It's better than you might think. It is Vampire Journals. What do you reckon? You got any thoughts on this one? You know what to do. Let me know in the comments.